Hi, I'm James Walker. I'm the creator of the Digital Family course. I've been working specifically with high school students, teachers, and parents using technology for the last 6 years. And in overlapping windows, I also spent several years in the classroom as a history teacher and 9 years involved in youth ministry at a local church. I spent much of that time looking for solutions to help parents protect their kids from the perceived dangers of the internet. Now, a little bit of history of my experience with technology, and you should know that I'm not actually techie. I mostly believe in the potential of technology, and I love that I can figure out just about anything with a couple of clicks. I started my current role when my bosses observed me teaching a history course while I was still in the classroom, and I had students bring their phones and computers and tablets to class about every day. And I did this because I believe that technology is amazing, and as a teacher, I couldn't justify not using it. This is because at any moment, just about every person around has access to all of the information that we have available to us as humans. I also know that this can be very challenging in the classroom because technology can be a major distraction. And if it's not a distraction, then students can access unreliable information. Outside of the classroom, of course, it can still be a distraction and it can still lead to unreliable information, but the stakes are much higher with access to unsafe people and unsafe websites. Students can access all the information in the world, and they can contact just about any person in the world at any given time, and that can be a very terrifying thing. Several years ago, every student at the school I serve at brought an iPad to school for the first time, and now they bring them to school with them every day. And as the technology support person, parents often come to me to ask questions about how to keep their kids safe. Most of the time, this begins with them asking me questions about the best software to use to restrict access to certain apps and sites. I quickly discovered that this was not the ideal place to start, as the same parents would return with frustrations about their kids finding ways around the restrictions. And trust me, there are always ways around them. And if they're not complaining about them finding ways around the restrictions, they're complaining because they're always fighting with their students about technology. I would also deal with the students on campus coming to me because a website that they need for class was restricted on their iPad, and access to good things was also too limited. The student would be frustrated and often embarrassed because having restrictions on your iPad leads to assumptions from classmates that they were caught using something. I started to do research and look for existing sources online for families to use to help them solve this problem. What I discovered is that the technology problem is very complicated. No surprises there. We talk about generational gaps and digital natives. We talk about limiting screen time or banning the use of certain apps. And then we bemoan the fact that kids are becoming less social and wasting their lives away indoors. Add all that to the fact that there are predators all over the internet who are trying to take advantage of our kids. Now, those talking points dominate the conversation, and they're often the driving force behind the decisions parents make about how kids use technology. But we spend less time thinking about the fact that generational gaps are often misunderstood, and adults misuse technology as much as, or more than, their children. And adults always assume that technology comes easy to their kids, but that's not always true. Screen time also may not be as inherently damaging as we think it is, and restricting apps and websites completely can often limit young people's access to crucial friendships and helpful information. And we have and are collectively creating a digital environment that is difficult to thrive in, and we grow frustrated that young people are not behaving in the ways we want them to when we are creating the very conditions. So please understand that I know limiting screen time and restricting access to certain places online is an important and necessary thing. It's also easy to be overwhelmed and to do nothing, or to be afraid and do too much. And you may feel like you are never doing the right thing. It can feel impossible, and the reason for that is nobody knows exactly what to do. What is required in situations like this is for communities to discover how to navigate this together. And I believe that the family is the perfect community for this. So, the Digital Family is the result of a series of workshops that I have created to help parents successfully create technology policies together with their children. You as a parent will welcome your child's voice and opinion, and they will actually shape a set of policies together with you. This has worked for many families in my workshops, and now it is available to everyone, regardless of location, using the Digital Family course online. Technology doesn't have to create conflict, and you don't have to stake your head in the sand and hope your child is not abusing it. I believe that with the Digital Family, you'll have a set of activities that will help you strengthen your relationships with your family while you create policies that will help you thrive. At schools that I have worked with, oftentimes educators are focused on using technology for academic outcomes and coming up with rules that help them use technology well in the class. We assume that students know how to use technology well and expect them to direct their digital literacy for positive aims. But how they use technology is dominated by companies that are trying to catch their attention through push notifications, gamification, and eye-catching graphics. Technology is designed to be addictive, and we need to counter those addictive qualities to help students channel this amazing tool in productive ways. This won't happen exclusively in the classroom, and it won't happen through guest speakers. This needs to extend to the home, and your parents are desperate for help in this area. The Digital Family is your opportunity to be a resource for your families, to provide tools and support for them to navigate the digital age together, and you can show them your commitment to this, especially if you're a school that has taken on a one-to-one initiative. If finding solutions to tricky problems best happens in a community, then your school can serve as that community, and you can be the guide along with them to assist those families in becoming the best version of themselves.